Good morning, Gabriela Mistral students. Ms. Olaciregui is very excited to start reading an amazing book about Gabriela Mistral. Gabriela Mistral was a Chilean poet, and our school is named after her. And I want all of you to learn a little bit more about her. First of all, Gabriela Mistral wasn't her real name. She chose it because she thought it sounded beautiful. Second, it's important to know that she was born in a country of Chile in South America. Now, let me show you where Chile is. Chile is very close to Colombia. So, what we are right now here in California, if you see here, San Francisco is right around this area. And all of these is the country of the United States. Here we have Canada, and this all belongs to the continent of North America. Now, if you travel south, some people call this Central America. Others considered Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Panama, Costa Rica, Honduras, and Belize as part of the North American continent. Once you cross this little bridge here, we find South America, and it starts with the country of Colombia. Colombia is where Miss O's from, and I love my country. My country is usually very warm and tropical. We're right under the tropical belt. Now, if you continue traveling south, you'll find Chile. You see how thin Chile is? It's a very thin country. Very thin, but a very long. So this is a place where Gabriela Mistral was born. So let's learn a little bit more about Gabriela Mistral. I want you to look at this cover. Look how beautiful this and colorful it is. It's very colorful because usually South American countries have a lot of tropical areas that are very full of vegetation, green, and lots of tropical animals. This is a drawing of Gabriela Mistral. And around her, you'll see monkeys, flamingos, and parrots. So let's learn a little bit more about Gabriela Mistral. As we listen to her story, I want you to think about things that remind you about her life. This book starts with her telling you the story about her life. My name is Gabriela Mistral. It is a name I chose myself because I like the sound of it. I love words and sounds and stories. And this is a beautiful picture of Gabriela Mistral. She looks very elegant. Look at her pearls, her beautiful hair, and she has a book in her hands. I'm starting to love her story. We're very fortunate that our school was named after her. When I was a little girl, I lived with my mother and Emelina, my sister, in a small house in the beautiful Elqui Valley in Chile. So check that out. She also lived in a valley, like Silicon Valley. From my bedroom window, I could see the Andes Mountains. So if you remember that map I showed you about Chile, the Andes Mountains come all the way up from Colombia. It crosses all the way down to Argentina. When I couldn't sleep, I would look up at the mountains and wonder what could be beyond them. Zebras with polka dots, rainbow colored flowers, angels reading books. What could it happen after those mountains? Look how beautiful she imagined things way beyond the mountains. When we drive with our parents, or when I drive, I always look at the beautiful mountains of our valley. So next time you are driving in any of our with your parent in any of our freeways, think about what is beyond those mountains. I loved words. I liked the sound they make rolling off my tongue, and I liked the way they could express how I felt. When I saw a butterfly fluttering, I noticed the way the words fluttering butterfly sounded together, like a poem. And look how beautiful these drawings are all about her. Look at the beautiful butterflies, colorful, and the beautiful flowers, just as some of the artwork that you do here at school. I've seen amazing, amazing, beautiful artwork. I taught myself to read so that I could read other people's words and stories. I read stories about princes and princesses and prince, about witches and monsters, and about birds and flowers. And look at this beautiful paintings about castles and prince and princesses. I also like to write poems, sing songs, and tell stories using the words that I knew. I told stories about happy times and sad times, about mothers and babies and little children. So here's pictures of all the different things she actually liked to read about and write about. I like to play school with the children of my village. I pretended to be the teacher, and my friends, Sophia, Anna, and Pedro, were my pupils. Do you know what the word pupil means? Hmm. If she was a teacher and her friends were her pupils, could pupils mean the students? And as I read this, I remember when I was little, I used to play teacher with my little sister Anna. We had a chalkboard because when I was little, we used chalk on boards. Pedro would always say that I was mean because I made him write his ABCs until he knew all the letters of the alphabet. But I told him that the alphabet is very important. How else could he read words and tell his stories without it? And this is Gabriela Mistral being a teacher with her friends as pupils, as her students. Hmm, must be so nice to be able to learn outside under a tree, huh? In our pretend classes, we sang songs like the baby chicks are saying, beep, beep, beep. It means they're cold and hungry. It means they need to sleep. That was Sophia's favorite song. During recess, we had fun, running and chasing and laughing and playing. And look how much fun they were having. That sounds like a lot of fun. And check out the beautiful lights. Doesn't that look amazing? When I grew up, I became a real teacher and writer. Wow, I did too. Because before I was a principal, I was a teacher. I was a teacher for 20 years. Can you believe that? So when I read this, it just brings me back to when I started teaching. And guess what? I also taught with a chalkboard and chalks, just like Gabriela Mistral. Now, don't think that I'm that old, but I did use chalks. I still wrote poems, happy poems, sad poems, stories of mothers and children. But I also wrote poems about animals, about parrots and peacocks, and even rats. I also traveled to faraway places. I never saw zebras with polka dots or rainbow colored flowers, but I met wonderful children and their teachers. I traveled to Europe, to France, and to Italy. Maybe some of us have all been to those places too. I've been to France and to Italy, but my favorite one is Italy. So look at the amazing places that Gabriela Mistral attended. Now, this is a great book because this book is both in English and in Spanish. So if you ever want to read the Spanish part, you can always come and pick it up in my office. She traveled also to Mexico. So many of our students are from Mexico. I've been to Mexico. I love Mexico. Mexico has the prettiest beaches and the most delicious food and the beautiful architecture. And people are just extremely nice. So here are some of the places that she attended in Mexico. And I forgot to tell you, Mexico also has pyramids like Egypt. Isn't that wonderful? I traveled to the United States. Everywhere I went, I wrote and taught and met teachers. I think she really likes teachers, like we all do. I saw how all over the world people wanted their children to learn. Isn't that fabulous? Just like us, like we always want to learn. Look, Brooklyn Bridge. I wonder if she ever taught in the United States. Let's see. Think about this. My stories traveled the world with me. People like to read my happy stories, my sad stories, my stories of women and children, my stories of parrots and peacocks, of old lions and of the fisher's folk who slept in the sand and dreamt of the sea. I really like the illustrator of this book. Hmm, I just realized I didn't share with you who the illustrator and the writer were. We'll go to that at the end of the book. Miss O should have known better. Let's continue to learn about Gabriela Mistral. And because people from all over the world loved my stories so, I was given a very special prize, the Nobel Prize of Literature. Now, this is one of the many Nobel Prizes that are granted to people that are exemplary in what they do. And this was the first Hispanic Latin American poet who got the Nobel Prize. Isn't that so exciting? When I accepted the Grand Award, I thought of the beautiful mountains outside my window in Chile, of my mother and my sister, of the children of my village, and of all the stories that still needed to be told. I wonder how many of Gabriela Mistral's students are going to win the Nobel Prize. Maybe in science, medicine, writing. Hmm. I can't wait to see all of you wanting to try to get some Nobel Prize. So Gabriela Mistral, she was born in 1889. That's over 100 years ago. Wow. In a small town in the northern Chile in South America. Her parents named her Lucila Godoy Alcayaga, but Gabriela Mistral was the name she chose for herself. Gabriela was very creative and loved learning and teaching. Hmm, just like me. I really love learning and teaching. So much that she became an elementary school teacher when she was only 15 years old. I wonder if that was because she played with her friends. Gabriela also loved to write. Reading and writing opened up the world to her. She began writing poems like she was young and published over 30 collections of poetry in her lifetime. Throughout her life, she continued to teach and write about education, traveling all over the world to improve schools. What a great goal to have. She loved helping children. I think I love Gabriela Mistral because I love helping children too. One of the highlights of her life became in 1945 when she became the first Latin American writer to receive the Nobel Prize for Literature, a very special award given to only one writer a year. Can you believe that so many people writing and only one person getting it? She will be remembered always by her poetry and for the way she helped shape education in Latin America. Gabriela Mistral teaches us to believe in the power of our own voices, no matter where we come from, what we look like, how young or old we are, or how rich or poor. So when you have a goal in mind, always think of Gabriela Mistral and how she came from a village in Chile and traveled all over the world and won a Nobel Prize of Literature. So I hope you enjoyed learning about her. I hope you want to learn more about her and write about her. I never wrote poetry, but maybe I should start doing it now. Here's a book. So anytime you want to borrow it, you can stop by my office and I can lend it to you. I hope you enjoyed this book and keep staying safe and making good choices. Have a great day.